You guys seem to love the card breakdowns, and we're going to really get into this one. This is not the dribble tutorial, but for those of you who are looking for a dribble tutorial, there will be stuff in this video that aid in that. So with Danny Green, first let's talk about the card overall. The main thing with Danny Green is he's got some great SIGs that you can use. But I do want to quickly talk about the badges that he needs, because he does need some badging up to reach his full potential. So he's going to absolutely need handles for days, hyperdrive. I would also put on killer combos and physical handles. So here's our first tidbit. And I'd put on midi magician, but that has nothing to do with his dribbling stuff. So when you do dribbles like this, so from what I understand, your character speeds up after they do like a combo of 3 moves or more. So in my team, it's a little more punishing, but it is still valuable to understand and have access to that, to get that speed up after you've done a couple of dribbles. So I would utilize that on this card. So let's talk about what he has from a SIGs standpoint. So from the jump shot standpoint, he's got the Pro 2, no, I'm sorry, he's got normal 2 leaner. Yeah, he's got the normal 2 leaners. Let's take a quick look at that. Great. Absolutely love that. Great. Very good leaner. Nice and high. Doesn't create the most space. I wouldn't say it's one of the elite leaners, but I would still put it in the very good category. And let's look at the hop jump. He's got normal hop jumper, which I absolutely love normal hop jumper, because normal hop jumper works going both directions. And it also, if you go forward, it has this very quick short stop, which a lot of people underrate that shot right there. When you go into the basket and you get this right here. So we're going to move on to the dribble SIGs. I guess we can quickly talk about his dunking. He's got hangs off 1, so let's just look at stick dunk from Danny. Perfectly fine. That was a 2-hander. He's good as a slasher, not elite as a slasher. He has an 85 driving dunk, so you can definitely throw a dunking shoe on him. Take a quick look at his attributes. Yeah, I would definitely say put it on dunk and then put it on his athleticism, and you're good to go with a shoe, and that'll make that dunk meter even better. So, okay, so let's get into what we all came here for, which is what can this card actually do. So let's talk about these SIGs. So he's got the Devin Booker dribble style, which we will get to. Motion style is base. I will say the card feels like he moves pretty well. He's got normal signature size up. So let's take a quick look at that, because size ups are important. And when you go through a size up, here's another tip that we'll recover in the dribble tutorial. Just because a character has 1 or even 2 bad size up moves, all you need is one of them to be decent. Now, these normal size up dribbles are okay. When I say they're okay, they have a use that we will get into later on. But don't sleep on these normal size up dribbles, because they do open up the rest of your kit depending on what else you have. So his Kemba escape is the main thing that we're looking at here. So this is going to be one of the most powerful moves in the game, and also one of the most underutilized moves in the game. So again, we can talk about this briefly, but a lot of people I see doing the momentum dribble. This year, the momentum dribble is just there to help you combo up. It's not, in most scenarios, the ideal move to burst out of. Now, off of step backs, the momentum's a little stronger, right? But off of a standstill, you really want to be moving to these escapes. This is like the new momentum dribble. So Mike Wang, he kind of cooked this year, because he put the bursting behind a bit more of a skill wall, because this requires more timing than the momentum dribble. So that Kemba escape is really great for that initial burst, and it's also great for more advanced stuff later on. Keeping it moving, we've got Ja Morant combo moves according to the site, but this looks a lot like the James Harden. And what's great about that is it combos into a couple of things really well. And really, we're just going to talk about the next move is the behind the back. He's got the James Harden moving behind the back. One of the very best moves in the entire game. If you don't have the Jamal Murray, but you're trying to do the same thing, James Harden is next up in line, and you can see how it combos out of that Ja Morant move. His breakdown combos, not anything, to really look at, nothing to talk about here. I wouldn't recommend those moves, although depending on what characters have, they can have a use. I think his just start up too slow, so you can kind of ignore those. The Jimmy Butler step back. There's some use case for the Jimmy Butler step back, but the normal use case is not here with this card, where you would really be using it to snatch and then go. not the strongest as far as that goes. You're just gonna have to kind of make do with this move. He's got the KD moving hezi. So again, the moving hesitation is another underutilized dribble move because of the way it combos with dribble styles, right? So you throw in your moving hesitation and you can run out of it. And depending on the angle that you run out of it, you're gonna get different animations, right? So with any hesitation, you want to do that experiment and kind of do your hesitations and then launch out of it and see if you can get anything good. With this, it's not like the best, but it's fine. It's totally fine. And then Danny has, so we're gonna get into like actually how to use these moves and how to utilize them. So with Danny, let's talk about his first attack. So when we say first attack, we mean what can you do to just go? And you're gonna make one move and you're gonna go to the basket. So for him, the first thing he's gonna do is the same side hesitation, right? These, we're gonna layer all of this. And you guys tell me what you think of Danny Siggs after we get through this conversation. So you got your same side hezi, both ways, very fast, feels very, very good. You've got your Booker push cross, right? Everybody's familiar with that. And then we have what we talked about before. We have the escape cross, right? And now this is a timing thing, right? So it'll be faster the better you time it. And with Kemba, you can go between the legs and you can go to the front, right? So you can go crossover or between the legs. Both of them are going to work. And then you've got the harden behind the back. So this is going to be our first little bit of advanced move because with the harden behind the back, you have to like run out of this, right? Now, if you try to run too soon, you won't be able to run. If you wait, you will be able to run. But the way you get around that is you have to put in a hesitation, right, in between it. Now, a lot of people say do the hesitation to the side, but actually you can just do the behind the back twice. So behind the back, tap it again, and then go. And that'll get rid of that slowdown, right? So now let's talk about counter moves. And this is where we really get into stuff. So I'm going to first talk about just straight, let's get to the advanced thing right off the bat. This is a card that if you know how to use the L2 cancel, he's significantly better, right? And I'll briefly explain the L2 cancel here, but if you guys want me to make an entire video about it, we can do that because it is one of the more complex moves in the game. And I do think it requires the ability to break stuff like that down. But long story short, when you're in any running state, right, you're going to hold the left trigger, and that is going to stop you from running, right? The left trigger is going to force you to the stop. So one move that you can do that with is that. You see, that's the L trigger. It's almost like a brake button, right? Like your turbo is your go button, your gas, and then the L2 is your brake. Once you hit that brake, you can burst out of that brake with another move, and you have to do it fast enough that you never actually see the brake. So the character just kind of stops and goes in the other direction. See if I can execute that now. And there we go. So that is the easiest L2 cancel. And this is already one of the things that makes him very good, is the fact that he can L2 cancel right into that James Harden move, right? Right into the James Harden behind the back, which I would recommend as the first thing you practice if you're L2 canceling, is just practice that into the James Harden behind the back. And you can shoot off of that. So that's your first kind of go counter, right? Now, let's add a third layer to that. So you go, did too fast. Go, L2 cancel. Oh my God, let's do this, right? This is what happens when you're like talking and dribbling. Okay, go, L2 cancel. So after that, the same rule applies with the James Harden behind the back though. You can do that James Harden behind the back, and then you can do it again, and then go back the other way, right? So we're going to discuss a property here with that. So if I do the James Harden behind the back, I can go to the Devin Booker push cross. But you see there's quite a lean there, right? So you can L2 cancel James Harden behind the back and zigzag back the other way. Now, if you L2 cancel James Harden behind the back, you can go the same direction, right? By adding in that cancel that we talked about earlier. But also, this is kind of secret sauce here. You L2 cancel. Oh, I mean, obviously any James Harden behind the back, but we're just discussing the third counter out of the L2 cancel. So you escaped, you did whatever you did to get going, you went behind the back, right? And so now you brought it back this way. Maybe you hit them with that one time and you killed them with it, and now they're on top of it, right? They're kind of sitting on it. So you come with that James Harden behind the back. So out of that behind the back, you can push cross back in the other direction. But if you do the behind the back and then you cancel, you get a different push cross animation. You see, you get that smoother one. So James Harden cancel, you get more of a burst. rather than the push cross. It's either a burst, depending on when you press the left stick forward in the push cross direction, you get that instead of the Devin Booker, right? So you guys can see how the layers can build up, where you get your escape, you get your escape burst down, then you get your L2 cancel down, you get your behind the back down, you get your behind the back cancel down, and now out of that behind the back cancel, the options really open up. And that's just one thing that Danny Green has access to, right? That one layer of things. And honestly, with just that layer of things alone, you're good to go. Because remember, every card is going to have all of the default dribbles as well, right? So you still got all of your misdirections and stuff like that that you can layer in there. So it's important to understand that having the Kemba escape gives you access to a different burst than if you don't have the escape. And then having the James Harden behind the back gives you access to a different L2 cancel opportunity, and you can continue to move after that. So I want to show you guys something particular to Danny Green. So with Danny Green, if he runs to the side, he has this very strange hezzy, right? And I think this might be coming from Jimmy Butler, right? So it's almost like the pro hezzy from previous years. Now, on its own, it's fine. It's definitely something that I think you can use. But out of that, you can go the other direction. But also, out of that, you can go behind the back as well. And you can combo a lot of things out of that hezzy also when he's running in one direction. So same thing, if people have seen you do that L2 cancel, coming back this way, now you can escape hezzy and go back the same way and then get into your stick dunking, right? So there's so much that you get when you combine these escapes, the Devin Booker push cross, the James Harden behind the back. Honestly, that's all that the character needs to really get going, really get moving. You put that on top of the fact that he has very strong leaner game, very high three-point attributes. He has very good step back animations as well in that normal step back, which is actually what I use in my career. I use a normal step back in my career, normal hop jumper. So yeah, I think all of those things put together give you all that you need to really cook with Danny Granger. So I hope that you guys enjoyed that tutorial. I think that pretty much covers it. I will say, just keep in mind that all of this stuff mixes with everything else. Oh, actually, there's one thing before I go. So say you're getting into this stuff, right? Anytime you mix in the size up, that also gets you back into the Devin Booker, right? So any of these layers that you're talking about, even the, let's say, say the same side hezzy, right? You can normal and then Devin Booker back in the same direction, right? So while the normal size up isn't an elite size up, it's good enough to get that going. Now, if he had Dwayne Wade or De'Aaron Fox and you had that combined with the Devin Booker, you'd definitely be talking about a card that is really punching above its weight. But as it is, I do think he is one of the best shooting guards available to buy. And I think that when you talk about a shooting guard that you want to run offense through, that you want to go to the basket, you want to create shots, I think he's at the very top of the heap in terms of available cards. Obviously, Ron Artest is probably number one. Him and Kobe are fighting for that number one spot right now. I have to play with Ron to really see, the upper edge of that skill. But yeah, that is my breakdown of Danny Green. And I think his jumper is more than good enough to suffice. Is it opal fast? No, but and just to show you guys off the James Harden, right? That's good enough. It's good enough to get it off, and that's all that matters. It's like the difference between normal or slow and quick is much more important than the difference between normal and jumpers that are fast and either quick or very quick. And his jumper is at the upper edge of a faster jump shot. So I think you're absolutely fine with his jumper. All right. So thanks so much, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one. I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. And there's going to be a lot of upgrades coming, already setting that stuff up. And we will be here for more of it. And as I've been saying lately, always, the dribble tutorial is absolutely on the way. But until it's ready, hopefully this ties you all over. Cannot thank you enough. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.